This podcast is part of the Pull Up a Chair podcast network. Let's build community through connection, conversation, and collaboration. This podcast is sponsored by Lever Consulting, editing with a purpose. Check them out at leverconsulting.com for a free consultation.
I never wanna get used to the sound you whispering in my ear.
Hey friends, you're listening to the Cat and V Show. Pour yourself a juicy cup of tea, grab a seat, and get ready for us to dish. Welcome to the Cat and V Show. Today we're going to talk about an influencer going wild at a yogurt shop.
Is she even an influencer, though? Like, she's a full-blown A-list celebrity, which is even more concerning to me.
Would you call her an A-list? Because I would still consider her like a B-list. Like, if you take her picture to another country, 9 times out of 10, they probably wouldn't recognize her. And I feel like that's what makes you an A-list. Or is that what makes you like an S tier?
I don't know any of this. Like, why are you asking these questions?
Definitely popular here in the States. Demi Lovato.
I mean, she's definitely not as big as Ariana Grande, I don't think.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. It's like...
Yeah, like, Ariana Grande is probably definitely a more recognizable figure, but I also think that they are in the same category of, like, pop artists.
Yeah, there's the same type, yeah.
Some of their fans probably like the same music and stuff like that, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's some overlap, but Ariana Grande isn't being problematic right now.
No, she's not.
Demi Lovato is. All right, so in case anybody doesn't understand what's going on, little Miss Lovato wanted to get herself some froyo. I get it. Froyo is great. She goes into the froyo shop. She sees that they have fat-free options. She sees that they have sugar-free options. And she is so upset by seeing those options that she left the place without froyo. She then brings her little self to social media and starts shit-talking the froyo place for being a quote-unquote diet culture vulture, which she really wanted that hashtag to become a thing. She was calling to get this yogurt shop canceled. It was a small...
You forgot that she, like, actually, she whipped out her phone and took a picture of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she took a picture of it just to, like, really badmouth the place. But if you looked at the picture, it's, like, fat-free, sugar-free, which are just an average thing you would see in any froyo ice cream place. They're just kind of, like... not diet foods, they're dietary staples that most places would have. And so she starts going in about diet culture, which is a thing and is a problem. Mm-hmm. But she was framing it like the froyo place is doing a problem. She was triggered, which, you know, she definitely could have been triggered.
Like, out to get her.
Yeah, but it's like... Exactly. It's like...
No, but, like, the problem is that, like, triggers... are like, they exist and they're very real, but you can't just stop the world because you're triggered by something. Like, not everyone's going to agree or understand that you're triggered by something as average, just like an average everyday food item, as sugar-free and fat-free options. Not just like specifically here, it's frozen yogurt, but like why doesn't she go after, like, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, sugar-free Coke, sugar-free Pepsi? Like, what? Is she triggered every time she sees a can of Diet Coke? Like,
you know, and that's not even the worst part of it. So she, like, really pushes for, like, a few days to get people, like, on her side. And, you know, there was quite a few people who were. And there's other people who were like, wait. But what about people with celiac disease? Or the people who, honest to God, just prefer the flavor of the fat-free or sugar-free options? And so she, you know, talks a bunch of shit about them. So people, like, start coming for her. Eventually, people start coming for her. And so then she puts out the worst apology video since, I would say, TanaCon's apology video.
I forgot.
Where she says, quote unquote, I am sorry you were offended by my opinion. Holy crap, that's not an apology for trying to get a small company to get closed down because you don't like the word fat-free.
That's literally what, like, the type of apology that people make fun of.
Yeah.
Like, that just straight up, like, people say that as a joke. That apology is literally a joke. Like, people have actually made that the butt of their jokes.
Her whole apology video, which I watched in its entirety, was like maybe 15 minutes. And like, she starts by defending herself, saying, I was so upset by not getting froyo. And sometimes froyo is only this safe food that people with dietary issues have. Like, it's the only safe food out there, which is like, that's weird. I thought celery was like the idol for people with eating disorders if we're going to talk stereotypes. Like, if you really want to bring stereotypes in there, there's better examples of stereotypes than froyo. Regardless.
Well, okay, like, imagine if all the people in the world who had gluten allergies were like, fuck you people for having bakeries, like, for selling bread. For selling bread made of wheat. Like, how dare you trigger me? Like, like, that's exactly her mentality. It's just like,
So then she talks about like how triggering it is and that the world needs to be more sensitive towards people with eating disorders because they have to struggle with, and you know, this part of the video I totally agree with. People with eating disorders are screwed because you have to eat regardless. Like, no matter what, you have to eat a couple times a day.
yeah.
And so she talks about that, and she's all like, so people need to cater us more. And it's
What?
like,
Oh my! The privilege is like, she's a rich person. Like, you know, it's just like,
she could have DoorDashed the froyo to her place.
no. But it's just like, it's crazy to think that she thinks that the world revolves around her, and that all the froyo places that ever serves sugar-free and fat-free options should like be demonized and canceled because she's triggered by the word sugar and fat-free. Like,
Yeah, and then she moves on to saying that she didn't think about all the people with like all these diseases that would force them to eat that kind of froyo instead of her preferred type of froyo. And she's like, I really didn't think about this, and I'm sorry my message got muddled, but it still stands, and I still stand by that. And then she goes on, and she ends it with basically saying, I'm sorry you're offended. And it's like,
that's not an apology.
So you're not sorry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not sorry. She's not. What? Doesn't she have a song? She has a song called that, isn't it? Oh my God. Wait.
Look it up.
I need to look it up. Wait. Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry is the name of this song.
Yep.
Oh my God, that is so funny. That is hilarious. The synchronicity, the irony is just uncanny. Great.
And she spent so much time clapping back at anybody who disagreed with her online.
I feel like there's so many more problems. Like, I had so much respect for her, like, when she created more space for people with eating disorders and, like, more body positivity and, like, self-acceptance and self-love, all that. Like, she was doing such a good job up until now.
Yeah, because now it's a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's no longer credible anymore. Because it's like her very real opinions are now clouded by her ignorance. Like, her very real experience is now clouded by her ignorance and lack of just compassion, or not compassion, but understanding, and just my mind is blanking on the proper word for it, but you know what I mean. Like, she's just like, in her like attempt to like defend herself, I guess it's kind of like defending herself, whatever, like speaking her truth, in her attempt to speak her truth and whatever, she's like alienated herself by like just acting like a complete moron, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was bad. And like, if you watch her body language, like, she seemed so defensive, and whenever she talked about other people's opinion, and like when it came close to her apologizing, she would roll her eyes, and it's like, did you not watch this before you put it out? like, you recorded this, you uploaded it. Did you not think, hey, let me watch it to see how it came off? But she, like, literally rolled her eyes like a cartoon character.
Oh, should I?
And it's like, you would catch that if you rewatched your shit. Like, it should have been a little bit more, like, scripted.
Wasn't she an actress?
Yes!
Oh my
I
God.
think she was the High School Musical chick.
She was. She also had her own show on Disney Channel.
The way cartoon or, like, TV characters are like, oh my God.
Yeah.
She would do the eye roll and then the head, like, 45 degrees.
This is like a million times worse than when Vanessa Hudgens was, like, talking about masks. Do you remember that?
Oh my God. Yes. It's like, girl.
Like, how do you even
watch?
How do you even tell?
How do you put that?
Yeah, like, how do you even? Oh my God! Like, literally during a global pandemic where people are dying. Like, oh.
Like, people are gonna die, and that's sad and all, but it's like, oh my God, girl, do you hear yourself speak? Or does it just, like, flop out of your mouth and your ears don't work?
Oh my God.
That's, like, beyond putting your foot in your mouth.
That's crazy.
I cannot. I cannot.
Well, Demi's going through, like, a Miley phase right now.
Well, according to her documentary, which I did not watch, I read reviews on. So I could be wrong. I
do not want to give this woman more attention than she already has. Like,
so according to the reviews or people talking about it, she already had her Miley moment, but nobody really watched it.
Yeah.
She, like, went downhill, did a bunch of drugs, and, like, went hog wild, but, like, the public at mass didn't pay too much attention to it.
Yeah.
But it's like, especially when you're that big and you're in the public eye, because I always double check anything I put out personally.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things don't come out the way I mean them to. And I would hate to ever, like, put something out there where I sounded stupid or hurtful or something like that. But this girl, she just went for it.
Yeah.
Like, no fucks.
Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, like, I'm sure she's gone through struggles, like, you know, and they're very real struggles. Like most people have. But, like, for somebody who has gone through so many struggles, she's so just glaringly not, like, uncompassionate and just ignorant. I don't know. Like, some people can choose to grow from their pains. I don't think she did. Which I'm sure she grew in certain ways, and she did do something. Like, she was doing, like I said, she was doing a great job until now. She took it too far. just too far. I don't know.
I don't understand why, like, you know, I'm sure she has a PR team. Most people of her level have, like, at least somebody.
Okay, but, like, do you remember who was our president for 4 years? Like, do you think he had a PR team? Like,
oh, he did, and he ignored them.
So, I mean, it's not surprising. Some people just don't care.
No, and she even said that, like, I'm opinion, and I'm never going to stop sharing my opinions. And it's like,
opinionated, yeah.
There's opinions, and then there's just having bad takes.
Taste, yeah. Bad taste, and just also ignorant opinions.
Doesn't save you from ignorance. It's like, I would get it if the froyo was labeled like skinny girl yogurt, or like something more along the lines of you're fat, you should eat this yogurt, or like detox yogurt or something like that, because detoxing isn't a thing.
It's just crazy to me that, like, can you imagine if, like, it was like her mission is to get rid of fat-free and sugar-free as, like, options completely. Like in her mind, that was like the goal. It was like the logical thing to do, was just to get rid of sugar-free and fat-free options forever, because she got triggered by them. And that so many more people in the world are triggered by those things, which I'm sure they are, but a lot of people, like society is, like, when you're neuroatypical, when you know, the world is built around neurotypical people. And yes, we should make moves to make it more inclusive and more just acceptable and stuff like that. But there's a line, that I think that Demi, she just like barreled right through that line, just all the way through, girl, just all the way through, broke the hymen and everything. Like, fuck. Oh man, Jesus.
I just can't.
That was shocking to me. I can't believe I hadn't heard about that. That's crazy. How is TikTok not talking about it yet? Like, I'm sure it is.
Right? Like,
I'm sure they are.
I'm shocked.
Well, I'm like looking up pictures of Demi right now. She looks a lot different than she used to. I mean, it doesn't really matter what she looks like, but I was just like, wow, she like hair change, everything. She doesn't, she seemed almost unrecognizable to me. Not that it matters. So I was just like, wow, she looks different.
She's behaving different too.
That's true. That's true.
Man, could you imagine being that small business owner and like waking up one day and then getting that thrown at you? Like, oh my God, we're like barely making ends meet.
I mean, like with the pandemic and everything like that, are they okay now? What happened?
They're okay now that Demi was getting some backlash.
She should get way more backlash.
Yeah. Well, at first, because the first people that see somebody's stuff is usually their stands. At first, their stands went to like their Yelp and just tore them to shreds. And so there's been like an effort to right that wrong.
Oh my God, that's crazy. We should talk about herd behavior. Like, what is it? Herd behavior, and like at some point, like a herd mentality. Yeah, sorry. No, I was just like in my head. It was like, or like just the psychology behind like Conti behavior, and I feel like stans border that. Like they ride that line so like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Some people just will do anything for like celebrities that they're fans of, and it's just ludicrous to me.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fans of people, but I will unstand somebody so fast if they act out of line.
Well, not only that, like I can't imagine being somebody's fan, like such a diehard fan that I would just blindly support everything they say. Or,
yeah,
like it just, I don't know. I don't know. I can't think of anybody that I would do that for. It's just have your own brain, have your own opinions. Like, because clearly Demi's opinion isn't a good one.
Man, and it sucks because she could have been such an excellent role model, and now she's just a joke.
She was doing such a good job. I'm very disappointed.
I mean, if she came back with an honest to God real apology instead of whatever that shit was, that would have been one thing. It was like, oh, she was emotional. She was like dealing with something. She had a bad take. It happens. People aren't always 100% of the time. But then she stood by it. And then she put out that apology. And it's like, welp, there's no coming back from it. There's just, you missed your shot.
I haven't even seen it yet. So I just like, everything she says is not credible to me anymore. I just like lost respect for her. I mean, not for her experiences, not for her life, like all the things that she's ever, I think that she's only relevant again because of that. Well, not that, but like because of her new documentary before this happened.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I forgot about her until that documentary came out, and I didn't even like have any intention of watching it. And now I 0% have any intention of watching it. So
no, it really freaking sucks because she could have rolled back and been like, hey, I was having a moment. What I meant to say was blank. That would have been one thing.
Yeah, and like, even then some people wouldn't forgive her. Like, it's just, yeah. But I'm sure if she said it in the right way, people would. But like, here's the thing that I learned from me coming back from manic behavior. Yeah, I try my best to take accountability for it. Even when people say, like, you're not your disorder, you're not your past, you're not whatever. But for me, that's all valid. Like, yes, I'm not my disorder, I'm not my past, but it doesn't change the fact that I did things. I made decisions. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm going down a darker route right now, but it's like giving somebody an excuse for rape when they're drunk, you know? Like,
yeah, like you might have not been in your right mind, but that you still did the thing.
You still did the thing, and I have things that I fully regret. Like, it's just, I don't know. The fact that she's not taking any sort of, like, it's not the same thing, by the way. I'm not comparing her, like, scandal to rape in any way, but I just wanted to, like, make my point where it's just like, sometimes you have a moment, sometimes you may not be in your right mind, but when you make mistakes and you do shit, that sometimes, I mean, she almost put this business out of business, right? So, like, you gotta take accountability for your freaking, like, you're an adult woman. Hey, take accountability for your actions. Especially somebody who is so influential. I guess, like, when you called her an influencer, that makes sense. But, like, for somebody who is so influential, like, she has so many stands and so many young people look up to her. So it's just, I don't know. I think that as an influencer, as somebody who has a platform, it's so important to be careful of what you choose to say on it, because you could be affecting somebody else and have realize, well, I mean, she definitely knew she was affecting them. Clearly.
And she wanted to.
She clearly, but you know what I mean? It's like, you gotta be careful. Yeah. You got, be an adult, honestly. Like, that's all I have to say.
At least rewatch something before you post it. Yeah, it's bare minimum.
Yeah. Damn. I think that there are certain things where you have to just, like, own up to your triggers and just face them head on. Just be like, bitch, this isn't going to trigger me today. No. Like, you know, like, it's just,
learn a coping mechanism or something.
Exactly. It's just like, not today, Satan. Like, I don't know, whatever you need to tell yourself so that you feel like you yourself can feel safe is, I feel like, the better course of action here. Not trying to blame it on somebody else. Like, I feel like, we're all trying to make this a more inclusive world. We are. Well, most of us are, at least. Or the good people are, right? Like, so there's so many better ways that she could have phrased this, or she could have literally just been like, hey, I was triggered. I went to a yogurt shop today and I was triggered by the words fat-free and sugar-free. And this has nothing to do with the business at all. Like, you know, like, she could have just, like, talked about the fat-free and sugar-free and how it triggered her instead of using, like, diet culture vultures? Yeah. Like, no, they're not being diet culture. Like, it's, like, literally two different things that she was trying to associate. That's crazy to me. I'm so floored by how genuine she is, because she's so fully, like, deep rooted in what she's trying to say. Like, I truly believe that she's trying to be a good person here, but she is so not owning up to her mistake. Like, she's not taking accountability, and that's the problem, you know? Because the message that she has is very real. I understand it because I relate to it, but it's just so clear that she has no idea what she's talking about right now. It's like she's talking about two separate issues. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, she thinks the whole world is out to get her. That's what I'm hearing from her. It's like, I think that she's just been hurt. She's a hurt woman that's been she's gone through some shit, and she's very hypersensitive, which is totally okay to be, but I feel like she's not apologizing at all. She doesn't understand what she did. Like, are you getting that too, or is it just me?
Yeah, that's the thing.
She's just so self-righteous. Yeah. Those are the words.
I'm glad that you took the time to sit down and watch the video so you could understand what I meant by this.
It's worse. Well, I don't know if it's worse. It's just like, seeing it is different than hearing it. That's for sure. Because it's like, I almost thought that she was like, had more attitude in it. it's even more problematic to me that she's so genuine about what she is saying.
Yeah, because the eye rolls come at a time when it's like, oh, these people just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like a child. like a literal child.
These people just don't understand my experience. They just don't get it, okay? Like, V, don't you get it? Like, why don't these people understand? Why don't they get the fact that I just get so triggered by the words fat-free and sugar-free that, like, oh my God.
See, this is what ruins it. Forevermore, there's no coming back from this apology video. I can't ever take her seriously again.
It's just the fact that she says, like, if we could just make this world a better place for people with eating disorders so that they can walk in and just have a little froyo. It's just like, the fact that she's trying to speak for all people with eating disorders is just alarming. FYI, she doesn't speak for me if if I hadn't made it clear enough.
Worst apology video.
I mean, it's just so... It's good and bad, and it has its moments, and it's like I can see her earnestness and like her genuineness. Like, she's really trying to do something here. Like, she really is. It's just not working at all. Like 0%.
She's just doing a bad job of it.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just okay. Well, thanks for giving me that.
Well, thank you for listening in. Let us know your opinions. You can find us at the Cat and Bee Show on Instagram. You better bet we're not going to try to take down no small business today or tomorrow, but I might be getting some froyo. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Sarah and Scooter Podcast is a conversation between,
you guessed it,
Sarah
and Scooter. We are not experts on any of these topics.
Just hoping to spark something like an idea, conversation, or even a revelation.
Subjects will vary depending on our friends, family, and community.
Sometimes it will be what we want to talk about.
New episodes drop every week on all of your favorite podcast formats.
So pull up a chair and let's talk about stuff.